Hi guys, Luke here. Welcome to today. Really excited to be here with you today, as I believe this is the probably the most influential module in the whole 6 weeks. If we don't get this right, we're not going to get the results we set out to achieve. I've seen endless clients train their asses off, okay, even under my supervision, 3, 4, 5 times per week, and they haven't got results. And that's because they just haven't got their eating together. They haven't known what to do with their eating, or they've been sabotaging themselves with their eating. I've also, been through stages of trying to put on muscle or trying to get stronger, and it's just not working. Even though I've been training my ass off myself, but I'm just not haven't been getting the results that I thought I should be getting. Turn it around though, and since I have implemented this stuff into my life, sort of about 3 years ago, really, the amount of volume that I've been able to train with and the frequency is unbelievable. It's so much more than what I have been doing in the past, which means I've got so much more better results. And I've also not been, sabotaging my results in terms of body composition with foods that aren't going to help that goal of getting leaner. So that's why this isn't so important. It'll, really make or break your success. So, what do you need to know? So what you need to know is that this, like I said earlier, is not a set diet. Okay, it's not. I really don't believe in saying, here's what you need to eat, nothing outside it. Don't even think about doing this. Don't even think about doing that. That rigid approach can work for a short time, but in the long term, it's not sustainable. It doesn't fit into your lifestyle, and it's just not feasible to do it long term. Okay, life happens, social events happen. So you really need to have the knowledge to be able to know what's good for you in every situation. There's also the principle of bioindividuality, which basically all it means is something that's good for me isn't necessarily good for you. So if chicken and broccoli every meal is good for me, it doesn't mean that it's good for you. You're not going to get the same results. Okay, this comes down to things like, different ethnic backgrounds, different environments you grew up in, even different training goals. So all of you in here have the goal to lose some fat. Okay, but some of you may have goals to put on muscle, to get stronger. You have different starting body weights. You have different goal body weights, different goal body compositions. All of these factors are going to make a difference as to what you should be eating yourself. So that's why I don't believe in set diets, and that's not what we're going to do today. What we are going to do is learn some really valuable fundamental tools and ways of eating that I have had great success with in, getting lean and staying lean without any, conceived effort. So let's get into the first rule. So the very first rule is titled "You're Too Sweet." So it's no surprises here what it's about. We're talking here about sugar. So sugar is, very, very prevalent today. It's in, a very, very high percentage of processed food. Anything that comes in a packet, there's a very good chance that it has a sweetener in it. This sweetener can be, just straight sugar, white sugar. It can be brown sugar. It can be molasses. It can be palm sugar. It can be artificial sweeteners. It can be glucose. It can be fructose. There's about 55 different names that they disguise sugar with. The thing to remember is if it's sweet, it's got sugar in it. Okay? If it's sweet, it's got sugar in it. Don't worry if it's natural or if it's not. It still acts the same. So what's so bad about sugar? Why do we want to start cutting sugar out of our diets? For three reasons. Number one reason, sugar causes inflammation. Inflammation is a natural process that even happens after we train. Okay, it's basically a healing process. Our body can deal with it, but if we're adding in things like sugar, it can mean inflammation is not dealt with properly. When we don't deal with inflammation, that's where diseases start. All diseases and sickness comes from some sort of inflammation. So that's the first reason why you want to cut sugar out, is for your health, your long-term health. The second reason is also for this. It's due to gut health being an important factor in our immunity. So basically in our gut we have good bacteria and we have bad bacteria. Millions and millions of cells, okay, of good bacteria, bad bacteria. We want a ratio that's very high in good and has less bad bacteria. What sugar does, sugar feeds that bad bacteria. So anytime we're eating sweetener, okay, so any type of sugar, we're feeding that bad bacteria and making that grow. More and more evidence has shown that our immunity is coming from our guts. So if our gut is healthy, if our gut has a good proportion of good bacteria versus bad bacteria, then we're going to stay healthy. Sugar doesn't let this happen. So that's a second reason why we want to cut out sugar. The third reason is perhaps the one that you're looking out to hear. And that is, sugar makes you fat. More and more research is showing, again, there's clear evidence examples of sugar causing fat. The reason why this happens is when we ingest sugar, so when we have any sort of sugar, obviously our blood sugar rises. To deal with this blood sugar rise, our pancreas secretes insulin. This is designed to bring blood sugar back down. From this decrease in blood sugar coming back down, we basically will store a little bit of this glucose as glycogen in our liver and in our muscles, but we don't need much of this. We need a very small amount. All the rest is stored as fat. So, and this fat is normally around our organs. It's called visceral fat, which appears on our belly. So if you don't want belly fat, and if you don't want inflammation, if you want to stay healthy, we need to cut out sugar. So that's the first fundamental rule. And until we get this rule right, there's no point in trying anything else. Okay, we really need to focus on this. So I really implore you to start looking at all the labels that you buy at the supermarket. Ideally, you don't buy, or you buy very, very little label food. You buy whole foods, vegetables, fruits, whole meats, whole grains. Okay, things with nothing added, so very minimal ingredients. Just to give you an idea, the average person who shops what they think is healthily, but they buy processed food, so they might buy 100% fruit juices, vanilla yogurt. They might make spaghetti bolognese with a sauce off the shelf. All these sorts of things. That sort of person will, on average, eat 40 teaspoons of added sugar per day. And that's without having ice cream, without having soft drinks. That's trying to eat healthy. So what I encourage you to do is to look at the recipes in this module and to start making more of your own food so you know what you're putting into your body. Start looking at what is in the food that you are eating. Okay, so 4 grams of sugar is 1 teaspoon, just to give you an idea. So I really invite you to, work out how much sugar you're eating at the moment. And first of all, try and cut that down by half. And you'll do that easy just by being more aware and by looking at food labels, which is another lesson in this module, which I'll go through. So that's the first fundamental rule, guys, is cutting out sugar. So I hope that's been helpful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.